After Reigns wins the Battle Royal, we have a backstage segment with Renee, who is with John Cena, who immediately sucks all of the momentum out of the room.
Yeah, pretty much says, as far as Roman Reigns goes, I think it's great. It takes impossible and makes it possible. A way to have a life class with Bo Dallas. And then I think he pretty much says that he's going to go on to Money in the Bank, pretty much, right, Ashton? Or did he say anything noteworthy here at all?
He said he's going to Money in the Bank because that's best for business, and that's it.
Wow, what a tool.
So up next we had probably my least favorite match of the night from a why is that person even on television standpoint, but probably my favorite match of the night from a thank you for punishing that person standpoint. Paige versus Cameron.
Yeah, they already had this match on Superstars. I really didn't want to see it again. And please, with the Superstars one, I only watched the YouTube clips that they provide of the last few minutes. But yeah, they play this thing up where Cameron's just being really disrespectful and everything to Paige. Suckers her in at one point by shaking her hand. I can't believe that Paige fell for it. I was kind of disappointing her, I'm not going to lie. And, she gets suckered in. But then she tries it again, but then it's Paige who suckers her in with the clotheslines and the screams. Long story short, Paige wins with the Scorpion Crosslock. I want Naomi versus Paige next, please.
Yeah, please. Thank you. And actually, you know what? It's worth pointing out that she did the PTO right in Naomi's face.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, looking right at her, and I heard, I didn't see it for myself personally, so this is just secondhand, understand, but I heard that when Cameron tapped out, Naomi just kind of gave her this look, like this square, like, girl, you got yourself in this mess. Because remember, this whole drama started when in the Payback post-show, Paige gets interrupted in her quote-unquote press conference promo by Cameron. And Cameron's like, when am I going to get my title shot? And,
when you earn it, you dumb skank.
when you earn it, and when I have enough medicine in my cabinet to deal with it. And neither of which has been the case yet, for the record.
Right.
So, yeah, to me, Naomi versus Paige could be a great matchup. And honestly, if this leads to the dissolution of the Funkadactyls, good.
Yes.
I mean, Brodus Clay is no longer around. Let Naomi go on her own and be the dominant diva that I really believe she can be. Cameron's just a dead weight.
That's giving her way too much credit, John.
Yeah, that's an insult to dead weights everywhere.
It is.
I mean, they help the mob carry out so much business every day. I mean, they have a function. God.
Plus, they're extremely functional as paperweights.
Exactly. See, you know what? I was totally doing a discredit to them. I sincerely apologize to all deadweights ever listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Really rude of me.
Yeah. Okay, I think that was a sufficient apology. So up next, probably the most talked about segment of the night, Goldust comes out, and we're all excited because we're going to find out who his tag team partner is. And theme music hits that we have never heard before. We see a Titantron that we've never seen before. And the name of the superstar is Stardust. And he comes out, and he's kind of leaning up against the wall, the Titantron wall. And then he turns around with his hands out in front of him, and he has his hands together, and there's a star being made by his two gloves together. And then he lowers his hands, and it's Cody Rhodes in Goldust, except Star Style apparel.
Yeah, I don't know what's scarier to me. The fact that this was a thing, the fact that the crowd loved it, or perhaps the scariest thing of all, the fact that I loved it.
Or perhaps the even scarier thing, the fact that they squashed Rybaxel, legit squashed.
I'm sorry, I still haven't processed that last part. Can you say that again? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, when it happened, Ashton can tell you guys, I said what? Probably a good 5 or 6 times, if not more. I just could not believe that they got the win. And this is what I was alluding to when I said WWE has had a knack lately for taking storylines that you think have been reduced to formulas or dictates and doing a development that not only have we never really seen or maybe have seen before, but they give it a fresh coat of paint and making it exciting and reinvigorating the storyline that it's taking place in. I could have never called this in a million years. If somebody would have said to me, John, you're wrong about Cody turning heel on Goldust, he's going to come out as Stardust, I probably not only would have laughed at you, I would have backpedaled towards the phone and called help. But here we are, and I think what you said, Ashton, when you and I were talking about it while watching it, which was absolutely on point on your part, was this is exactly why I think TNA will always be behind WWE, because TNA has Willow, and now WWE has Stardust. But Stardust is better because, one, they don't come out and say that it's Cody Rhodes. They do kind of, play up that this is a new character. But more importantly than that, Cody Rhodes makes the adjustments necessary to his offense. When he does the springboard dropkick as Stardust, he does the same springboard, but he does it with his elbow, which I think is a
Yeah, he
nice
drops the
variation.
good old-fashioned Rhodes elbow drop, or the Rhodes bionic elbow.
Exactly. When he goes to the top rope and he nails a cutter off the top rope. And did he get the win with that?
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. It was like an inverted blockbuster. I love it.
Yeah, and Cody got the win with that. Also, leading up to the bionic springboard elbow, he did like this arm trap DDT, and that was really cool. So Cody has made adjustments to his offense to fit this Stardust gimmick, and that to me is the brilliance about when you do things that at first would seem ridiculous, but they work. Because if TNA had done this with Willow, I think I would be a lot more accepting of the gimmick than I currently am.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. 100% agree with you on that, man.
Yeah, I just really had to expound upon when you said that, because I thought that was a great point you made when we were talking about it. Because me and Ashton, we did watch Slammiversary, and I'm sorry, like, I was happy that Magnus went over Willow, but I really couldn't get into the match because I'm like, oh man, I just find Willow to be so stupid. And I just couldn't get into it. Stardust, it kind of disturbs me how much I liked it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talking about TNA, honestly, guys, I didn't think that Slammiversary was that bad. It was a little overbooked in some matches, namely the Divas match, Knockouts match. Apologies to TNA fanboys everywhere for mistaking that. But I honestly, I want to say after the Last Man Standing match, the Texas Death match, I guess it was, I was bored out of my mind. Like, I didn't even dislike the show. I just felt like I had better things to do.
Yeah, I really got right there with him. I was kind of in and out, and really the only thing that strikes out to me about Slammiversary was the finish to the triple threat. Not only because it was anything like mind blowing, it's the freshest thing in my mind. With Eric Young retaining the championship. But yeah, I'm just so glad that when you and I were talking about this action, you brought up Willow, because I'm like, oh my god, maybe that's why I like Stardust, because this actually works for the reasons that, in my opinion, Willow did not.
Right.
They're not being blatantly obvious that it's Cody Rhodes. And he changed the off. Like, I can't stress enough how big that aspect is. And that just shows you whether somebody went over it with Cody or whatever, at least he had the foresight, to listen or come up with it on the fly or whatever the case was. They did it, and I'm happy they did it.
Yeah.
So, will they win the tag titles again? I don't think so. But however long this ride goes on with Stardust and Goldust, I'm gonna enjoy it, man. I really am.
Yep. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next time we see them, because I kind of want to see them in a match that isn't a squash, so that we can see like the full Stardust repertoire.
Yeah, really, because how many other adjustments has he made? I mean, maybe instead of doing a top rope moonsault, maybe he'll do like a new, crazier aerial maneuver. I don't know. But the fact that this was the team that squashed Ryback after they could boast about beating all of Goldust's prior partners and the Rhodes brothers themselves on multiple occasions, to me is just so hilarious.
I want Stardust to cut a promo too.
Definitely. Like, yeah, dude, what's his promo style going to be like? Is it going to be even creepier than Goldust? Oh man. What?
I feel like it's going to be like a combination of Cody Rhodes doing an impression of Goldust and, what was the word?
Undashing Cody Rhodes, maybe?
What?
Were you thinking undashing Cody Rhodes, or were you
I
just
never
thinking
called it undashing though. Grotesque, maybe Cody Rhodes. I don't remember exactly what the word was, but yeah, that guy, the masked Cody Rhodes.
You know what? I think that would be a fine combination. And what I'm thinking, because again, Cleveland was very receptive of this. They were. And if that follows
Cleveland
suit,
was receptive of everything tonight, dude. They were such a good crowd.
they were Cleveland, and I never thought I'd say this. Cleveland was an amazing crowd tonight. And the only reason I say I never thought I would say it is because Cleveland in the past has never really stood out as one of those really good crowds. But they did here. And to me, if that becomes a trend and Stardust gets ridiculously over, I wonder what WWE is going to do, dude. Are they still going to pull the trigger? And because I still believe that Cody Rhodes is going to turn heel at this point. But after this, it is slowly encroaching upon that Ricardo Rodriguez turning heel on RVD territory because I just don't know anymore. So I'm very curious where this goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, it was fun. And like I said, I'm looking forward to what they do in the future.